But right now we got some sports entertainment, and I think making his debut on the show here is a man with the hottest takes in the biz. They call him Billy Biz. We are one of only two ever TV fights full-time fact checkers in the world. Please welcome Billy Business to the show. Oh, Billy Patterson, how you doing, buddy?
Best producer in the biz, right?
Hey, you're out of the game. You're out of the game a little bit.
Also, best dad in the biz because my kids are like on an iPad and in a playpen right now. So, yeah.
This is all we want. All right, so Billy, this was 20 years in the making. People have been calling this for a long time. At Elimination Chamber in Toronto on Saturday night, John Cena turned heel. Give us your hot take, Billy Biz view on this story.
All right. My initial gut reaction was I hate every shred of this. I hate it. I hate it. But then I looked on it and I realized there was no other way. This had to happen. Look, you got Cody and Cena at WrestleMania. I think everyone knew that's what we were getting. I don't think anyone thought that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But you run into a big problem. Cody is your guy. He is your 2009, 2010 Cena. Like,
right.
If they go into that match and Cena's like, I got to get that 17, you're going to get booed. Like, you're going to get some Cody boos. So what do you everyone talks about John Cena, the golden shovel, burying someone. The more I thought about it, this is the most selfless thing that John Cena has ever in his entire career, which is, I will turn heel. I'll get the heat. I'll win 17 so that I get that 17. But made it another hill for Cody to conquer. Because let's face it, ever since he took out Roman, he hasn't had like the most memorable title run.
The simplest truth about baby faces and wrestling, it's fun. The story when they're chasing is much more interesting, and it always is going to be the case. And you can make a title run interesting, of course. No judgment either way. And I've been and this is what's fascinating for me is I am a lifetime wrestling fan. Spent my years in and around the business. Know some people on the roster or in the building there, and I had tuned out for years. And I started to tune back in, the Netflix era, all this stuff I was brought in. And so I watched. And I've always loved Big Game John. On screen, behind the scenes politics, the golden shovel stuff, I never really knew or worried about it, but I've always loved him. But it was predictable, right? He's the shucks veteran who's coming back for those. And producer Steve says, please explain it to me. He doesn't follow wrestling closely. Cena has essentially not retired, but he hasn't been full-time for years, right? Billy, how long, Billy, has he not been full-time?
It's been about since 2015, 2016, give or take. So almost
a long time.
Yeah.
And he's been around and in and out, but he's not been full-time since that time. He is one world championship win away from setting the all-time record, right? Beating Flair's mark?
Right. Flair has 15 world championships in his career.
So Cena's back full-time for what he comes back and announces in Toronto last year, like final months. This is his last Royal Rumble. This is his last Elimination Chamber, his last WrestleMania. But at one point, you got to give him the title. You got to give him number 17. And I think I'm with you. This is a great way to look at it. It's a good way to get it done. You want to try to control the narrative. You don't want to have to change it in the ring if they're going to boo Cody and that's going to mess up Cody. And I don't think it was expected. I was surprised, but when the moment started building, you're like, oh, are they going to do this? And the payoff of doing it, I thought was worth it, Billy, right? Like even over gut reactions. Have you just not wanted John to turn heel over the years?
I just, it's always like he was so sticking to his guns. It's like, that's not who I am. I am literally Mr. Make-A-Wish. He did a bunch of Make-A-Wish before the show that day.
Right.
So, like there's a lot to it. And also just, the idea of like how long anyone who's watched wrestling, like they called him Super Cena. He never lost.
He never lost.
Booed a lot. And it was in the last maybe 2 years where audiences have come around to just appreciating John. So the fact that he's going into his last year, this is the last WrestleMania, the last time he's going to show up to a lot of these arenas, and just knowing like, I'm never gonna get the cheers that I would have gotten that I
Yeah.
was. Like, it's over. Like, to me, I think that's the most shocking part of it. It's like I would love to know who talked John into this. If this was John's idea, I don't think it was John's idea. I think Dwayne was like, "Hey, man, they kind of did the same thing to me last year. Pretty well for me." So I don't know. Also too, and
Yeah.
obviously Star Wars nut. We're
Yeah.
John's not going to leave this without his redemption story. You
Yeah.
know, somehow he will redeem himself by the end.
Yeah. No, and that's going to be an earned moment, and I think they're doing doing a good job with The Rock, who at times to me seems to be rubbing up against go away heat, especially in Hollywood. But I think he's one of the greatest heels of all time when he was a heel, and I think this is great, and I think it's just fun, and it's got me talking, it's got you talking, it's got people talking in a good way. It was fun to have that kind of big surprise when wrestling over the years can just, especially if you follow it and you know it can get predictable even when they're trying to do great, fun, out of the box things.
Right. Yeah. People are comparing this to when Hulk Hogan, 96.
Bash at the Beach, right? Yeah.
Hollywood Hogan. So I don't know. Very interested too. I think it's very interesting. He's got Peacemaker coming out.
Right.
He's got other things. So it's like, I'm always curious when it's like, you guys are going into junket season as heels. So it's a little, if I was a publicist and didn't quite understand, like, are you sure you want to tell all these people they have STDs, but then also want them
to see a show?
Your show? Are you sure? My wife's coming out and you're telling everyone they're Hicks and
yeah.
Hey, that's wrestling day.
That's wrestling. That's wrestling. No, great breakdown there of it, Billy. Final thing here. Then we got 16 seconds of sports, and you might have some of your one of your kids might be crawling out the backyard unsupervised. We always this show, the Blathering, goes a lot of different directions. Never planned. Sometimes it's deeply political, social issues, sports. Today, wrestling, which is something I love. So I love when our listeners are honest. And Osvetnik says, "Hey, look, I'll be honest. I've never understood the appeal of wrestling. Not yucking anyone's yum, but I just don't get it. Why do you all like it?" A fair question. Billy, in all our years, you and I have taken lunch breaks together or put $17 hamburgers into our mouths while we were hanging out. I don't know if we talked about this. We just know we like it. What do you love about professional wrestling?
I mean, again, look around me. Star Wars, Batman. I like good guys versus bad guys, and I think as simply as you can do it, I think when wrestling really works, it's good versus evil, and eventually good always wins. Which is why something like John Cena, he was your Anakin, he was your Superman, turning evil, like that's appealing. I'm not about like flips and holds, somersaults and stuff. It's like, just tell me a really good versus evil story.
I'm with you on it. Wrestling to me has always been this great storytelling art form. Is it carny based? Can it get bottom of the barrel? Are there things in the past that should be questioned, never done again? Absolutely, but I think you can apply that to a lot of entertainment. What has always appealed to me is this: it is a story playing out. It is the good versus evil, as you're talking about. A Greek tragedy, it's Shakespearean rope drama, it's all of it. But when you pull in a crowd who's all in on it, by the way, it's a suspension of disbelief and the fun of that. Not unlike going to movies, but I've been there for those moments. I've been part of them as a booking team, watching a story we put together in a Royal Rumble event of an 18-year-old local kid from Simi Valley who weighed $120 and was training. We put him in there and had him win this event. And the final person he eliminated was a 400-pound monster, and he barely pulled the rope down and got the monster out. And 300 people with tears in their eyes, 300 people screaming with joy. It was one of the best storytelling moments I had, and that was being part of it. But as watching it, it's the pomp of the circumstance, but it is at the end of the day, you're in there for the story.
Absolutely, 100%.
There you go. All right, Billy, I'm joking a little bit, but when are we going to get a new podcast from you?
This was kind of it, man. Look, I'll say this: if anyone your show ever listened or watched Hot Takes, I recorded a new episode. I did. I was going to do a revival. Now I recorded a new episode. I don't have it anymore. It just wasn't good. I never released it. I never edited it. It was a mess. So kind of just feel like leave it in the past, right?
Okay. I don't. Yeah. I mean, if the episode isn't to your standards, yes, but I think the world needs some mild takes from Daddy Biz. I don't know. I don't know. I think we can get to it.
I'd rather listen to your show.
Oh, thank you, my friend. There you go. Thank you, Billy. I'll text you later, huh?